What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JBsports back again with another one. WBO welterweight champion, and who I have number one on my pound for pound list, Terrence Bud Crawford, who had been prominently linked to a mega showdown with 8 division world champion, Filipino icon, and soon to be Hall of Famer when he hangs up his gloves, Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao. Now that fight fell by the wayside 2 times in the last year. First being due to the pandemic, according to Crawford's promoter, Bob Arum, a.k.a. the Bob Father. The second time they tried to make it happen, the Saudi investors failed to show proof of funds. So the fight did not materialize. Now, Manny Pacquiao is signed to fight Errol the True Spence Jr., a.k.a. Free Smoke. They got that deal done. They're going to fight August the 21st. So that fight's going to be one of the many pay-per-view fights they're going to have going on in the next couple of months, man. They probably got like 5 pay-per-views going on in the next 2 to 3 months, man. It's crazy. But they got some, I'll pay my money as long as I'm getting some good fights. I don't want to pay for no, like when they put, I don't want to just shit on this fight, but I'm just going to call it like I see it. When they put Andy Ruiz versus Chris Arreola on pay-per-view, that ain't no pay-per-view fight. But you understand what they was doing. I think they drew around 125,000 to 150,000 pay-per-view buys. And based on what they paid Andy Ruiz, which I heard was $1 million, and they paid Chris Arreola 750,000. And then, they had to pay the fighters on the undercard, their money. I think the fight actually did make money with the pay-per-view buys that they did for that fight. But they would have, and then with the pay-per-view price, I think the fight was $49.99. So with that being said, the fight actually made money. Didn't make a lot of money, but it did make a profit. So kudos to Al Heyman for putting on a successful, money-making pay-per-view fight. A fight that I didn't think should have been on pay-per-view, but bottom line is they wasn't in the red on that fight. But that's neither here nor there. Terrence Bud Crawford is in limbo. What would be his next move? Now, he was in a training camp in Colorado Springs training for the Manny Pacquiao fight. He thought he was going to get that fight. When word got back to him that the fight was not going to happen, he continued to hold his training camp in Colorado Springs. But during the Memorial Day weekend, they broke camp. Him and his team, they broke camp. I don't know if they're coming back to camp, but right now he don't have a dance partner. And right now his contract is going to be up in October. His promoter, Bob Arum, has stated that he does have 1 fight left with Top Rank Boxing. So I don't know if the contract expires in October, they will still have to be on Top Rank. Say they can't come up with a fight before October, which I doubt, but just say that's the case. The way Bob Arum said, he said, look, he owed me 1 fight. So regardless of when the contract expires, he owes Top Rank 1 fight. So I think they'll try to get that fight in before October. And he'll try to fight maybe a Castillo Clayton or somebody like that. Now, that could be one scenario. The other scenario is he could get bought out. There's just 1 fight left. Top Rank promoter Bob Arum has said he's lost a lot of money putting on Terrence Crawford's fights, especially on pay-per-views. The fight with Posto, the fight with Amir Khan, both of those fights lost money. So he says the money he's lost promoting Terrence Crawford, he could have built a big mansion in Beverly Hills. So he might be willing to listen to maybe a promoter like a Eddie Hearn come in and buy out the last fight of that contract, and he signed with Matchroom Boxing. I can see that happening. And that's some of the things I've been hearing through the grapevine, that he could sign with Eddie Hearn along with MTK Global. It'd be like a partnership. Now, a lot of people say, man, what is Terrence Crawford going to do signing with Eddie Hearn? Eddie Hearn don't have any elite welterweights in his stable. But you got to understand Terrence Bud Crawford's mindset. Why did he re-sign with Top Rank knowing that Top Rank didn't have any elite welterweights under its stable? The one answer to that is security. Terrence Crawford is the kind of guy, he likes security. He likes to be sign a contract, a multi-fight contract, where he knows he's going to get this amount of money per fight. A minimum of this amount of money per fight. So you got to understand that contract he signed with Top Rank, he was going to make it at least a little over $3 million per fight. No matter if he was fighting Jose Benavidez Jr., Jeff Horn, or Igor Kavalauskas. He was going to make at least $3 million. He made $5.5 million fighting Amir Khan because that was a pay-per-view fight. But they Top Rank could not pay him no less than a little over $3 million per fight. And I think that's what Eddie Hearn is going to do. He's going to offer him the bag. He's going to offer him a multi-fight contract. It's going to be similar to the contract he got with Top Rank. It might be even a little bit more. Eddie might jump it up to $3.5 to $4 million per fight. Say, look, you're going to get this amount of money per fight no matter who you fight. If you get a big fight, obviously you will be making more than that, but you would get $3.5 to $4 million minimum per fight. I think Eddie Hearn is going to go that route. He needs to make waves in the welterweight division. He has Conor Benn, he's got David Avanesian, and he got Mikey Garcia for one fight. You know, he signed Mikey Garcia about a year and a half ago to a contract with Matchroom Boxing. It was basically a 1-on-1 fight. The third fight would be with Matchroom Boxing. The second fight, Matchroom would have a chance to match if Mikey Garcia would, seek the fight outside of Matchroom Boxing. So I think that's going to be a similar contract that he gave from Top Rank, gave Terrence Bud Crawford. I think that would be a contract that Eddie Hearn would be looking to do to get and sign Terrence Bud Crawford. Now, like I said, Eddie Hearn is trying to make waves here in America. If he could get Terrence Bud Crawford to sign with Matchroom Boxing USA, then he would then he would be having a foothold in the welterweight division. Then he will have a fight in the future for Conor Benn, who could be in the same boat as Terrence Bud Crawford over there with Matchroom Boxing, not being able to get fights with any of the elite guys over there with the PBC in the welterweight division. Another guy you could put him in right off the bat is David Avanesian. That could be his first fight with Matchroom Boxing. Good fight over there with David Avanesian. I don't know if they would probably have that fight here in the United States. They could put that fight, in Omaha, Nebraska. Terrence Bud Crawford's hometown. They could put that there. Maybe they could put it up in Lincoln, Nebraska. He's fought there before. That's not too far from his hometown. Basically in his home state. He could fight David Avanesian in his first fight. If somehow they can give the bag to Mikey Garcia, they can maybe set that fight up as Terrence Bud Crawford's second fight against Mikey Garcia. That would be a huge DAZN pay-per-view fight. Yeah, they could sell that fight. But Mikey Garcia has not seemed to be interested in fighting Terrence Crawford. He says a fight with him and Terrence Crawford would be boring. He would have to chase Terrence Bud Crawford around the ring, and the fans wouldn't be willing to excited about watching that type of fight between himself and Mikey Garcia, according to Mikey. Well, the fight between Mikey Garcia and Terrence Bud Crawford. That's what Mikey Garcia said. So he hasn't seemed too interested in fighting Terrence Crawford. But if Eddie Hearn throws him enough money, maybe he would be willing to fight Terrence Bud Crawford. And you got to understand that Terrence Bud Crawford does have a belt, the WBO belt. So that would be Mikey Garcia a chance to win another world title in a different weight class. So that might interest him along with, they probably have to throw Mikey Garcia at least $10 million for that fight. He made $7 million fighting Jesse Vargas. So Eddie Hearn got to throw at least $10 million for Mikey to even consider that. So that could be a possibility for Terrence Bud Crawford. And then in his third fight, then you set up the mega showdown with him and Conor Benn. That could be a big fight over there in the UK. They can maybe put that fight over there in Wembley Stadium, have a big crowd over there, do good numbers over there. Or maybe they can bring it down here in Vegas and have that fight there in the Las Vegas Raiders football stadium, if the fight is big enough. Or you put it over there in Mandalay Bay, one of those casinos, MGM, and you have a big fight over here in the USA. So that's what I think they'll probably offer Terrence Bud Crawford, a 3-fight deal with Matchroom DAZN Boxing, with the first fight being David Avanesian, the second fight being Mikey Garcia. Or it could be in the third fight being Conor Benn. Now, them roles could be reversed because Mikey Garcia got one fight left. So it possibly could be Mikey Garcia the first fight, then David Avanesian the second fight, and then Conor Benn the third fight. That's the best case scenario for Matchroom Boxing to offer Terrence Bud Crawford along with the bag and the security of a multi-fight deal. Maybe that'll be something that will entice Terrence Bud Crawford to sign with Eddie Hearn. Now, Eddie Hearn did an interview a couple of days ago, talking about the new DAZN deal that he's got with the UK and all over the country that he's left for Sky Sports. And he said he had one big addition coming to DAZN. He didn't mention no name. He didn't mention what it was, but he said he got one big addition coming. And that's all he said. And that kind of led me to believe that he was talking about Terrence Bud Crawford. Now, I could be wrong, but from what I'm hearing through the grapevine, I'm hearing that it's a strong possibility that Terrence Bud Crawford could sign with Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Boxing USA, along with a partnership with MTK Global. We will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Now, what Terrence Bud Crawford got to worry about is, will he become the next Demetrius Andrade? Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade over there in the zone. A guy with a lot of talent, a guy with a high skill level, but can't get no big fights over there. Even though you got guys that's quote unquote on the same side of the street, like Canelo Alvarez is with the zone. You know, he's on he was with the zone. He was on a contract with Golden Boy. Now he's on basically a fight by fight basis. But his last fight was on the zone. And during that time that he had a contract with Golden Boy promotion in the zone, didn't get the fight done with him and Andrade. You had Triple G over there. You had who else you got? Triple G over there. You had a lot of guys over there that Andrade couldn't get a fight with. Billy Joe Saunders. None of those fights came to fruition for Demetrius Andrade. Instead, he's fighting guys like, you know, Saluki and Michael Keeler, whatever his name is. You know, he's fighting guys like Liam, what that guy name was? Liam Williams, fighting Liam Williams. You know, he just not getting any kind of big names over there. Couldn't get the Triple G fight, couldn't get the Canelo Alvarez fight, couldn't get the Billy Joe Saunders fight, couldn't get the Daniel Jacobs fight. You know, all those guys was over there with the zone at the time. Couldn't get none of those fights. Couldn't even get Callum Smith fight, who held a belt over there. Couldn't even get him over there. So it was just a situation where Demetrius Andrade was basically career is passing him by as far as him ever becoming one of the top names in boxing, never having that signature fight so he can showcase his skills and pronounce to the world that he's one of the elite fighters, one of the pound-for-pound fighters in the boxing game, because he definitely had the skills to be on that pound-for-pound list, but does not have that fight, does not have that signature fight to be considered to put on that pound-for-pound list. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. But Terrence Bud Crawford is going to have to make a decision when his contract runs out in October. We will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. But it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens, man. Very, very, very interesting to see what happens, though. But look for Eddie Hearn to try to sign Terrence Bud Crawford. If you hear this, them two get linked up together in October, whenever his contract runs out in October. I don't know the specific date, but I just know it runs out in October. But whatever the case may be, when he gets his last fight in with Top Rank Boxing, once that occurs, because everything I'm hearing that he's out the door, he's not re-signing with Top Rank. He's done with Top Rank. They couldn't deliver the Pacquiao fight for him. He's moving on. They haven't delivered any of the top welterweights in boxing to him. The Errol Spence Jr. fight has not materialized. The Sean Showtime Porter fight, for whatever reason, did not materialize. And Terrence Bud Crawford don't like the comments that Bob Arum continuously make. He made a comment about a week ago. What did he say about Terrence Bud Crawford? He said something about, you know, the guy is a phenomenal fighter, but he just can't sell. You know, it's nothing personal against him, but it is what it is. I'm just paraphrasing. That's basically what Bob Arum said. He said, got a lot of talent, man, but just, you know, he ain't got no personality, basically what he said. He's not a self-promoter, and he don't sell, man, you know, and that's why I couldn't put together the fight between him and Sean Showtime Porter. Those guys are the top guys in the welterweight division, but there's no way I could put that fight on pay-per-view. So basically saying, if I put that fight on pay-per-view, I'm going to lose money. Just like I lost money on Crawford versus Postal, and just like I lost money on Crawford versus Khan. He said, I'm not finna go down that road again. The old saying in baseball, what is it? 1, 2, 3 strikes, you out? He said, nah, you ain't gonna even get me on that third strike. I'm out of there after 2 strikes. And he's moving on, it seems to be. And that's what Terrence Bud Crawford is have heard, and that's why he's ready to move on to greenest pastures. So he hopes. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. But let me know your thoughts about Terrence Bud Crawford signing with Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Boxing USA in partnership with the MTK Global, which I'm hearing his name prominently linked to those two guys through the grapevine. Let me know your thoughts, and hit the like button if you like the content of this video, and subscribe to JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend, and I holla.